Hi guys, I'm Vikas. I'm PTE trainer here at Bangalore, India. Today we're going to cover some methods and techniques that we could use to get full marks on the reorder paragraph question type of the reading section. Now guys, this is a really important question type. It carries a ton of marks, and there is a tried and tested method that I've explained to you with an example in this video. Make full use of it, make notes if you'd like to. If you've got any questions or queries, please feel free to leave a comment below. If you liked the video or found it useful, please subscribe. Thank you. Let's get started. Alright guys, let's get started. So today I will be covering a fairly challenging question type of the reading section, which is reorder paragraphs. Now when you look at the question guys, I want you to sit back, relax and think. I will give you a set of methods and techniques that are tried and tested and that should work for you. Now, before we get ahead with the methods, I'd like to give you a couple of techniques that you could use on the reorder paragraphs. Now, make sure that you do not spend more than 3 minutes per question. If you do, you will end up not having enough time for the other questions, right? The scoring here also works like the multiple choice, multiple answers. Now, if you get 2 options that are correctly paired, you will get marks for it. However, if you've gotten a couple of options that are wrongly placed, the marks that it negates the marks that you've gotten for the correct options or the ones that are correctly paired. So the incorrect paired options will negate the marks that you've gotten for the correctly paired ones. So please make sure that you're certain of this. Guys, you have to remember that reorder paragraph holds a lot of weight in the reading section marks. Okay, so please pay attention and make sure that you get this section absolutely correct. Now, another tip is that when you read all the reordered paragraphs, it should make sense to you. Do not make any assumptions. Just don't make any assumptions. When you've reordered it and you read it as a paragraph, it should sound like one whole story or one small story. Each paragraph should relate to the next one. Okay, and make sure that you don't skip any questions in reading section. If any of the mentors or trainers are asking you to skip any reading questions, it is a strict no. Please attempt all the questions and make sure that you mark the right answers. Okay, now that you know a few tips, let me quickly give you a look of how the reorder question would look like. So you would be presented with a question of reorder paragraphs. Look on the left hand side, this image here. So you can see that these paragraphs, these 5 small paragraphs or sentences that are given to you here are not ordered. They are incorrectly placed. You will have to place them correctly to get full marks. How are you going to do it? I'm going to tell you a method, a tried and tested method with the help of which you could use to get full marks. Now, the very first sentence or the first step that you will perform in the reorder paragraphs is finding an independent sentence. We can go back to the example and try the same method. I'm going to tell you how you could do it. Like I told you, the first step is to find the independent sentence. Now, what is an independent sentence? An independent sentence could be an introduction paragraph. It is complete. It does not need any other sentences. So basically, if you just read that single sentence, it should make complete sense to you. It should not have any dependency on any other sentences. Usually sentences with pronouns and adverbs, just make sure usually the independent sentences have proper nouns, so it's pretty easy to understand. Let me go back to the example here and understand. So the first step that we're going to do here is find the independent sentence. Guys, you can have a look at it here. Ignore the right hand side of the presentation. It's got the answers, but I want you to understand here. When you go through all the 5 sentences, you will see that option C is an independent sentence. Halloween is a holiday celebrated each year on October 31st. Does it need any other sentences? No. If you look at option A, the 2 traditions eventually merged. So where are the 2 traditions? It's not an independent sentence. B, the option B starts from another. As soon as you see the word another, you know that it's not an independent sentence. D, if you look at D, it gives you an option of thus. When the word thus comes, you know that it's a conclusion statement, right? So if you look at the option E, it tells you it's probably just giving you a pronoun, right? So it's not the right option. Now let's get to the second step of our method. This is really important, guys. You have to master it in order to achieve full marks with reorder paragraphs. What is this? This is sentence flow. Now what is a sentence flow? Is that consider it like this. When you give your name, you give your first name, middle name, and your last name. I mean, that's the ideal format that most of us follow, right? I mean, I'm just giving you a really vague example for you to understand. So one follows another. It's a logical way of writing something. So that's how we're going to identify how we should be reordering paragraphs. Now, once you know the first independent sentence, you will know that the object of the first sentence becomes the subject of the second sentence, and the object of the second sentence becomes the subject of the third sentence, and so on. I'm going to tell you how. Now that we've identified the first independent sentence, the option C, Halloween is a holiday celebrated each year on October 31st. Now we know that the object in the first sentence is Halloween, right? So if you look at the option D, you know that it's a conclusion statement, so you won't use it. B does not logically make sense. A as well does not make logical sense because it talks about two traditions. So the obvious and also the sentence flow suggests that E is the next option. So Halloween becomes the subject of the second sentence. Halloween is a holiday celebrated each year on October 31st. Halloween is the object that becomes the subject, which is it. It is related to an ancient Celtic festival where people lit bonfires and wore costumes to ward off ghosts, right? Now that you know option E is the second one, let's move to the third one, right? For the third one, you'll see that the Celtic festival is the object which becomes the subject of the third sentence, which is logically B. Another historical connection. So the Celtic festival is the historical connection. So they want to talk about another historical connection. So they say another historical connection to Halloween comes from the 8th century AD, when Pope Gregory proclaimed November the 1st to be All Saints Day, right? So now that you know the third sentence, which is B, you will have to use the same sentence flow, and you will know that option A will be. So now that we spoke about Halloween and we spoke about another historical connection, so it becomes two traditions, which is the subject of the fourth sentence. The two traditions eventually merge, and using the conclusion keyword thus, you will know that this is the last sentence. I hope all this made sense to you guys, right? The last step, in case you're not able to make a logical sentence flow, look for grammar hints, especially in nouns and pronouns and connecting words. So that will give you a very good understanding of reorder paragraphs. Guys, use this method explicitly. I mean, you try at least 20 or 30 reorder paragraph, because it carries a lot of marks and it holds a lot of weightage for your PTE scoring. So make sure that you're practicing this a lot. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop your comments in the comments section. If you have any other concerns, put it across in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to help you. I hope this video was helpful. You could pause the video at any point in time and make a note of these methods that I've given you here. If you also have the time, have a look at the videos from E2 language. They've also got some other great methods and techniques that you could use. That's it for today, guys. If like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to mail me, drop a comment, or just contact me on my WhatsApp number. This is Vikas from PTE Lectures signing off. Thank you for your time today.